How are we doing? Well, there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that around the world, most of the governments of the world have taken these goals seriously. So 188 of the 193 UN member states have adopted plans for the Sustainable Development Goals. That's good. And I visit governments all over the world. They're working on them. Now, I'll tell you something bad about the 5. Some are in war zones. There's Yemen, there's South Sudan, there's Myanmar, there's Haiti, and there's one more that hasn't had a plan. That's the United States.
Oh my
own
God.
country. Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, is exactly right. In Washington, they're so much focused on getting reelected or on fighting wars or other things. They're not thinking about sustainable development goals. So this brings us to your question, where do we stand? We stand far behind where we should stand. Why? Well, what are we doing fighting a war in Ukraine, for heaven's sake? If Biden and Putin just talked to each other, they could stop this war. Why do we have an ongoing conflict in Israel and Palestine? Because there aren't 2 states. We need a 2-state solution, obvious. And so on and so forth. If we use common sense, we would end the conflicts, and then we would say, okay, now we have the time. Let's focus on saving the world, saving ourselves, actually achieving sustainable development. Then so many shocks, COVID, the pandemics, the wars. So we're behind schedule. And that's my concern. We don't want to give up, certainly, and to say, well, okay, we didn't do that, let's move on. Because these goals are so good, so important, so accurate, actually so well selected by the governments. And the governments have taken a lot of time to work on them, to orient their cabinets, the ministers, around these goals. So we've got to catch up. We also are going to have to extend the homework assignment, really, because it's not going to be achieved by 2030. But we can't be cynical about it and say, oh, forget it, because these goals are really at the center of what a decent world would be.